How's it going, everybody? Lots of you in the comments talking about what's going on with Squishy. When are you going to talk about Squishymuffinz? When are you going to talk about the new Muffin Men roster? Today's that day, everybody. We're finally going to talk about it. The reason why we took as much time as we did is because I've been trying to find time in my schedule to sit and watch the video he put out. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Squishy put out like a 25-ish minute video of them scrimming Vitality back in the day. This happened, I think, while they were boot camping or something like that. I don't know the specifics of how it came to be, but if you guys are unfamiliar, the new Muffin Men roster, Squishy and Gimmick getting back together. If they do not bring Torment in as a coach, I'm going to be livid. And then Aqua of Koi, and that has been announced. That is confirmed. That is the official, like, that's the team that is happening. We're going to transition to some gameplay as I kind of talk through this process. We've watched the video already, and I kind of want to break down some of the things that I'm seeing, things I like, things I don't like. And some of them we actually just went past, so I might rewind so it can actually show it here, because it'll allow me to reference it. But overall, initial thoughts, what it is. I think when you're in a place like Gimmick and Squishy, where we obviously know their history with Cloud9 and the potential that they've had, they're a team with a lot of talent still. I think Squishy, and I've done videos on it as well, where we broke down replay analysis on, like, why did NRG sweep Gen G? What were the difference makers? And a couple of things that I took away from that video, now we're talking like 9 months ago, was due to the fact of Squishy's spatial awareness, understanding when and when not to challenge, how to utilize space being provided to him. And that is consistent across this entire video. Now, again, we can call it what it is. Squishy definitely cherry picks what he puts out on his YouTube channel, as he should. He wants to look the best for the people that support him. He wants to make sure that the narrative of his channel is that, hey, I'm amazing. I don't lose. I'm really good. So the first game is them losing by 1. The second game is them winning 3-0. Probably chose those two replays on purpose. Not just for the narrative, but also for some of the things that happened in. And the nice thing, if you guys haven't gone and watched this video, he does talk and he does break things down and pause and talks about his perspective on some stuff. But overall, my takeaways. I think Squishy still has it. I think he's still perfectly capable of playing at a high level. I think he still has the core factors of what you want in a player when it comes to situational awareness, when and when not to challenge, when to go for something, when not to go for something. And you're also seeing a lot of selfless plays where people are going for passes. And it's always the mentality of, give that to my teammate versus myself. There is a lot of different things. He also says in the video that he didn't have permission to post any other games they played against each other. Also fair. Maybe that's it as well. So I would like to reach out. I did reach out to Alpha and asked what the series score was. Hasn't gotten back to me, which is totally fair because I only did it like 5 minutes ago. Not the point. But there is also, you know, who knows what was allowed and what isn't allowed for these types of replays. Again, I know they're pretty secretive about what they want to show and what they don't. But these replays are very outdated. They're very old. But overall, Squishy as a whole, doing the right things, making the right decisions, slowing it down, going for fakes versus flicks, feints when he needs to. He's playing clean. Like, I don't think a single time during any of this, except for maybe 1 or 2 times where they went for a challenger, I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Like, yeah, it applies a little bit of pressure, but you're putting yourself in no man's land. You're wasting a bunch of boost. Like, you're never going to catch Zen on that sidewall from where you are. All in hindsight. So far, out of all these things, 2 things I notice. Shooting accuracy is still kind of at times, and it's tough to say that because Vitality's defense is world-class. Probably one of the best in the world. The other side of it, too, is the positions that they're shooting at. It applies pressure. It draws defenders out. The difficulty that they're having is sustaining that. Because in this replay, you can see from this first game, they're going to lose 1-0. But a majority of the time, it is them putting good shots. It's good chances. And Vitality still wins it. The difficulty is as those shots and stuff come in, they don't sustain it. They're not threatening. So they get a good look. It's an infield pass and blasted top right. Vitality's ready for it. But what doesn't happen is, okay, we have possession back and we throw it back in. And a lot of the reasoning that I've seen so far is actually Aqua. There's a lot of times where Aqua definitely throws the ball away a little bit here and there. Again, this is a generalization. It's not meant to be like he's terrible, because he's doing a lot of really good things. Positioning wise, he's solid. Mechanics to extend plays has been great. Forces a lot of 50s, like a lot of really good things. But there will be certain times where it's like, you should know that both your teammates are rotating out. They're out of boost. So instead of wall pitching it in the corner and throwing it mid to the defense that has 2 players there, go for a solo play again. Force a defender up to you. Expend their boost. And then by the time that's done, your 2 teammates are going to be in a better position to then put it in. Talking about some of these chances, like he's going to go through it and break it down in his own replay. But like some of these shots are on the money. Like they're close and a little bit off, but otherwise it's a goal. So there is a lot of positive takeaways about the team. A lot of people this whole week have been asking, where do I place them? How do I think they're going to do? What it's going to be? And I think it's really difficult. I think it's really, really difficult to say, because talent-wise, I think they're okay. I think there's a lot of players right now in the Rocket League space that have kind of been forgotten about, or on a lower tier team, that with the right structure, the right foundation, the right coaching, and the right mentalities, like, still have it 100%. I think Gimmick still has proven. I've seen Gimmick upset a lot of teams over the course of the last season, where they just out of nowhere, all of a sudden you're like, why is this team so difficult to beat? Gimmick is a big factor in that. He really turned around that roster when he joined them with, like, I think it was like Ajax them on Axel, I think was where he officially ended up. So again, a lot of talent still. I also don't think Aqua has ever been given the right teammates around him to be successful, or the right structure to make him really show his talents. This could be that difference maker. It could shape him to be a much better player, because mechanically, he's still got it. Like, he came in, as people forgot, as like same narrative as Daniel. Daniel had a lot more hype, but like Aqua was also one of those players in that same like draft class that was like, this player is going to be phenomenal. And let's call it what it is, being on the Koi roster, the Rogue roster, I don't think it has the right talent for you to go and be world class. It's not a top 8, top 6 team consistently. Just hasn't been. They've been competitive, but it just hasn't been the narrative that you're looking for a new player to give them the best foot forward. So with that in mind, I think talent-wise, they're okay. I think leadership capabilities and like selfless capabilities are there. Like, they are setting each other up to be successful. I don't think there's going to be any one player in particular that's like a ball hog or anything. And I'm interested to see the way it develops. Again, we have 2 5-minute matches to see what's going on, and there's a lot of good in it, between decision making, passing plays, sustained offense, a couple decisions here and there that are just like, in hindsight, where I'm like, okay, it's not that great, but overall, pretty positive notes. And my initial thought process before I looked at all this was probably like a 9 to 12. I could see them in the RLCS, but that's also without knowing any of the other rosters. We've done some theory crafting about what teams may look like, but I wouldn't be surprised if this team finds themselves in like a top 8. And if you find yourself in a top 8, I am a firm believer that any given Sunday mentality, you can make a run. You can definitely play one upset, and all of a sudden now you're top 4. And if you've made top 4, why can't you make top 2? Why can't you win? So I do think they can be in the running to stay competitive, but if I'm being realistic about the reassessment, or like how refinement process is going to be, I'm thinking, if I had to guess, this will be a team that on average is probably going to be 9 to 12 in the RLCS, with potential to bump into the top 8, maybe top 4 once in a blue moon. That's just my typical assessment. But again, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I'm happy to get more replay analysis and more like footage of these guys, because again, this, to my knowledge, is a very early iteration of the team, and you saw that. Like, there was some tripping over each other, some communication issues probably breaking down, maybe a player going for something when they were supposed to be called off. Happens to every team as you try to figure your flow of things, or your understanding, or your habits of your players. But again, if this is something that they've been working on for like 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, when time comes for the RLCS, they're going to be a well-oiled machine, which gives them a huge advantage. So I would not be surprised if, coming into the first like split of RLCS 2024, that this team actually surprises and upsets some people. I'm saying it here first. Maybe we're completely wrong and they get absolutely dusted, but I'm excited to see what happens nonetheless. So with that said, that's what we got. Muffin Men getting a full dedicated video to satiate all you people in the comments that have been like, talk about it, please. And I figured we should give it the breath it is, because again, I think Squishy, Gimmick, and Aqua all have a lot left in their careers. So why not do it together? My only desire, as I said at the beginning, is if Torment doesn't give them a full Cloud9 reunion as a coach, I'm going to be livid. I need Torment on that team. Either way, joke aside, we'll see you in the next video.